What's up guys? In this video I'm going to break down the course review and my 100% honest opinion on the new course I just completed, which is Tradenet. I've recently completed the introduction course of Tradenet, which is priced at $500. Personally, in my 100% honest opinion, I feel the course to me offered great value. It did have some pros and cons, which we're going to break down in this video right here for you. The course offers everything from the start to finish you need to learn before you embark on your stock journey. One of the great advantages I found in the Tradenet course, although it is a basic beginner's course, they do hold some high advanced tips they do give you from experienced traders, which is great, and I've recently put them into my trading strategy, which I find is working for me. What I really liked about the Tradenet course so far was it gives you an overall view of why the market's moving. So it doesn't just teach you the best practices and step by step from start to finish. It also kind of breaks down behind the scenes of, okay, why does the market do this? A lot more education in the structure of the markets themselves. And they also cover a wide range of markets, which I really liked in the course. One of the cons I didn't like about the course was the guy in the videos is very boring. But that's just my personal opinion on it. I wasn't a super fan of him, but they say you never really like your teachers, so that's okay. But that's just one of the little cons. If I had to say something bad about it, it would probably be the guy is slightly boring. Throughout the Tradenet course, you will notice they cover a wide range of stock prices, what they recommend to trade. They don't really go so much into penny stocks, so if that's what you're looking for, it's not really in this course. But they do cover, as I said, a mass range of other price tickers that they recommend. What I did really like about the Tradenet course was it did go into a lot more detail than other courses I've done in certain areas, like for example candle patterns and things like that. I would have liked it in a little bit more detail, but it is a pro to me because in the other courses I've done, this does contain a lot more information in candles than previous courses. They also teach you great kind of technical patterns to watch out for, and then that you can implement in your stock trading strategy. As I said before, it really covers everything from start to finish. It'll even cover your kind of stock risk ratio, which most courses do, and this is a common topic in most courses. But what I really liked about this kind of risk ratio strategy they had is they had a super advanced piece of information that, in my opinion, would come from advanced traders that I've recently put into play, and there's some great tips and techniques to use in the risk and reward strategy which have helped me. If you're embarking on this course and you're a beginner, you're going to have many questions. Like anything you're learning a new trade, it's going to be kind of overwhelming at the start. But they do cover everything from start to finish. Like I said, they'll cover your indicators. They'll cover everything you need to know about kind of getting on your journey. It is priced at $500. I broke down my last courses in terms of, is it worth the price? In my opinion, I feel it is worth the price that it is displayed at. I wouldn't go much higher and I wouldn't go any lower. I think it's priced exactly where it should be. It's really great value for the money that's offered, and there's a lot of information in that for the $500. One of the other cool factors I found about the Tradenet course was not only if you buy the introduction pack for $500, they also give you a funded account of up to $14,000, which they once you complete the course and you pass their standard of trading, you get a $14,000 funded account that you will trade off their platform. You get to keep between 70 and 75% of the profits you do make. So this is a huge bonus to me, and that was a huge attractive side of the Tradenet. It's not just a course, you do get a platform to use and a fully funded account, which is a massive bonus. And also in the course they have an extra section where they teach you how to use the pro platform software, so then you can start trading with a fully funded account and to get a great return on your money, and you keep 70 to 75% of the profits, which that's just another bonus of the course. So the kind of opening chapter in the Tradenet course is kind of an introduction into the overall markets. If you see my other review video, you will see that this was a big tip for me. I really like this because he gives you an overall review on what markets you're kind of looking at, what you'll be trading, why the market moves, and kind of the back education into what's important to know about the market. Either as a beginner or as an advanced person, it is always crucial information to know. The Tradenet will cover kind of obviously the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, the Dow Jones. It will kind of break down each individual ETF that you will need to look at when wanting to get an overall view of where the market's going. What I found really interesting about this, and what I actually put into my trading strategy, was each morning it's now in my to-do list that I go over all the ETF tickers that are related directly to the stock market. So I go over the SPY, I go over QQQ, I go over like the Russell 2000. I look at all these ETFs to see how the overall market is performing. So that'll kind of give me an idea of where I'm going with my trades today, either long or short, and an overall plan into breaking each individual trade down. So I found that super helpful, and that's why I really like this topic, that it was covered. It gave me a lot more knowledge behind the scenes of the stock market, we'll call it, and it also answers the questions kind of why do these things happen, which is overly, it is crucially important in your decision making when you're trading. Okay guys, as a comparison to this and other courses I've done, first off, as the introduction package and the intro into the course, this really had great value for me. I was a really big fan of it so far. It started me off my journey kind of already taking a tip straight on and running with that throughout the whole experience of the course. One of the things I want to talk about is the Tradenet introduction pack, that they sell you a course for $500 and they give you a fully funded account of $14,000. This to me sounded too good to be true, but I can assure you it is legitimate, it is real, and I was very surprised as well that you do receive a $14,000 account when you purchase the introduction pack for $500. So what that is they're basically teaching you how to trade the stock market overall from start to finish, and they give you an account of $14,000 to trade with, of live real money. You get to keep up to 70 to 75% of the profits you make. Now one of the obviously conditions in that is if they only allow you to lose a certain amount, and you have to kind of pass the standard of what it takes to trade. So if you are up there with the standard of trading and you pass and you qualify to get that account, you are obviously given an account, like we said, of $14,000 to trade with. Now there is a limit that you can lose. Once you lose that limit, the account is closed. But this is a great advantage, I think, for anybody looking to get in the stock market. This is a huge opportunity for people to take, and I think you have a great bonus here with the Tradenet, and that was one of my kind of turn-ons towards the course. Not only do you get great education, you do get a fully funded account. So maybe that's just something to think about. If you are thinking about education and you are thinking about a course, maybe Tradenet might be the one for you. So guys, one of the things I liked about the Tradenet course is it goes into a little bit more basic information on candles in comparison to some of the other courses I've done, which is good. It doesn't give you huge knowledge on them. I would have liked a little bit more information in this area, but in comparison to the other course I've done, it did have more information on the candles. Candles are crucially important if you're looking to either get into any type of trade, and if you're using Japanese candlesticks. They can make a difference in terms of when to get in and when to get out of trades, kind of looking out for patterns that you need to watch. I didn't have great knowledge on candles. I thought I did. It burnt me bad. I don't want that to happen to any of you, so I would suggest investing and taking the time to learn in depth of what candles are, candle patterns and things to look out for. They'll really improve your trading and your trading strategies going forward. I can promise you, if you invest enough time into candles and candle patterns, it will increase your gains massively. It did with me, and I'm sure it will do the same with you. What it basically does is you're waiting for kind of more confirmation in trends, so your trades are a little bit more safer. It also tells you when is a good time to enter and exit a trade, also if you're using that in comparison to with some of your indicators. So they do go hand in hand. It is another tool in the toolbox, but it is crucially important to make sure you're knowledge in the area of Japanese candles. It might be your style to use Japanese candles. You might like to use kind of line charts or bar charts. You can't really get great readings on them, so I wouldn't fully recommend using them. So in my opinion, I would only recommend using Japanese candlesticks if you're looking to kind of make the most of your green days. But a lot of people do use kind of line charts and things like that, so it really just depends on your preference. My preference is Japanese candlesticks. I'm not really good at reading the kind of line charts. It doesn't give you enough information analysis to break it down, but each to their own, and that's just kind of my overview. Where the idea of a Japanese candle came from, it was a Japanese guy back in, I think, the 1800s, or is quite a distance ago. I'm not too sure of the full story, but he actually created a Japanese candle to record the measurements of his rice that he grew. So that's where it came from. It wasn't designed in the stock market, it just kind of suited it well, and the whole technology behind it then was advanced into the stock market of a calculation and a pattern to grow his rice. So we use it now to grow in the stock market. Like any basic course, Tradenet will also cover your kind of support resistances, teach you to kind of watch out for some trend patterns along the way, some kind of technical analysis of these. What it also really covers really well, I really like the volume coverage that they cover, in terms of they go into volume of a stock in quite a bit of detail, kind of tell you what exactly to look for in terms of, okay, if your stock is priced at X, you're looking for X amount of volume. So they kind of give you kind of a step-by-step what kind of standards you need to be looking at during some of these trading tips they're giving you, which I really like. It's not just kind of a broad aspect of, okay, this is volume, this is what you do. It's kind of telling you exactly what you need to do in terms of your price tickers that you're looking at. They also kind of teach you some kind of trading techniques, like trading on a pullback, when is kind of an entry and exit price. So this is a really helpful tactic as well if you're kind of starting off in the stock world. This to me would be kind of a little bit more after a basic tip. So they do throw in the course some tips that are some slightly more advanced trading, but as well, you take it on board with you kind of implement it, it really works for you. So there is some kind of sneaky tips in there, which is for the slightly more advanced, which that's one reason why I do like the Tradenet course. In this part of the Tradenet section, they're going to cover some trading patterns. If it is a bull or a bear pattern, they're going to cover some kind of trading ideas, which will kind of give you a step in the right direction to implement in your trading ability. And why I like this section is it's probably one of my favorites. It goes into good detail on these areas, which is crucially important. Some of the other courses I've done haven't got as much detail in this section, so that's one of the other reasons why I'm a big fan of Tradenet so far, and especially this section. So as I said before, they do teach you kind of bull and bear patterns to watch out for. They also kind of teach you to read them on an intraday basis and a swing trading basis to get in that mindset, and also kind of to break down on what time frames you should be watching, because that is a common question I get asked, is what time frame should I be watching if I'm swing trading or day trading? Well, if you're day trading, you should be kind of watching the 5 to 15 minute. If you're swing trading, you should be watching the kind of 1 hour to 1 day chart, even up to a 180 day chart, depending on the system you use. If you're SureTrader, their day chart is equal to the same as the TD Ameritrade 180 day chart, so kind of don't get confused there. It is the same patterns that you're watching. So all the patterns are kind of covered on the basic end of the scale in this section, so which is good. Keep your eyes out for these when you're paper trading, put them into play and get used to kind of watching these patterns. In the trading ideas section, I wish it kind of went into more detail in just this section of trading ideas. He kind of only teaches you to kind of trade a breakout stock and kind of trade the support and resistance lines. Both very basic techniques in trading, so it's good to kind of get an understanding of these trading skills that you're doing. But they are kind of basic, but they're important to know, and they will be kind of one of your first strategies of trading, is looking for these patterns to trade. Granted, I wish there was more in it, but Tradenet probably don't want to overwhelm you in the basic course by giving you too many patterns and techniques to look out for, but that's kind of one of the faults I'd say. I wish it did contain a little bit more information in the trading ideas. Some of the topics Tradenet like to go over and kind of teach you is, they do teach you like the SMA, the EMA, kind of a lot of most basic indicators they do teach you. What I did find kind of cool was they did go over the Fibonacci lines with you and how you can implement that in your trading strategy. It is kind of quite a successful strategy to use if you do use it. If you don't know what it is, it's called a Fibonacci retracement. It is a manual indicator you actually have to put on the screen yourself. It doesn't automatically do it for you, and they kind of teach you to break it down, how to actually use the Fibonacci exactly, and to teach you the kind of strategy behind the Fibonacci and the strategies behind all indicators they use to teach you in terms of why are the indicators kind of reliable and stuff. So that's kind of cool about the topic of the indicators and techniques they teach you in Tradenet. Tradenet also kind of break down how to kind of scan for stocks. Now bear in mind, Tradenet doesn't come with a scanner. They do recommend FinViz as a free scanner because they do not offer a scanning system, which is kind of a fault in my eyes. But they do break down how to use FinViz. So it is another website that you can use. It is free of charge. It's a free scanning software. It is quite reliable. If you are looking out there for a free scanner, I would probably recommend it. He teaches you on FinViz to kind of how to scan for stocks that meet your criteria. The downfall in this kind of topic is they don't offer a scanner. They don't go into huge detail about other scanners only. As I mentioned, FinViz, it would be nice if they gave a couple of multiple options in there, but they don't. So that's kind of one of the probably faults I would name with it. In the second section, Tradenet will cover the difference between swing trading and day trading. Some of the tips that they use in their trading experience, they're actually passing on to you. They will also kind of give you some key indicators to go off. Like if you're obviously swing trading, you want to be keeping an eye out for some news that will cause the stock to move in either opposite direction. So we will kind of give you some little tips and clues to work off when swing trading. He'll also cover the basics of day trading and the difference. So what they're trying to do here is to kind of distinguish what type of trader you are interested in being, and kind of giving you an overall review of the two different styles of trading. Initially, to distinguish what type of trader you are, if you are a beginner on the very early stages, is not overly important, but it is important that you keep it in the back of your mind that you're focusing towards and at least have an idea of where you want to go. But that's what these courses are for. They're there to design you to teach you all the basics of everything, and then they'll start to narrow you down onto kind of what suit you best, and then to kind of fine tune you in each area. Initially when I was starting, I didn't really know what type of trader I wanted to be, and I tried to kind of juggle too many trades at one time. In terms of swing trading, momentum trading, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do until I kind of zoned in on a trading style I liked, and that's when it kind of suited me. So now I kind of focus on mostly momentum plays, but I like to also take between 1 and 2 swing trades per week just to kind of keep the stock portfolio going, and to kind of always, I like to usually always start on a Monday, closing a swing position that I've either been holding over the weekend. So it kind of starts you on the green as well. That was just my experience when I kind of first started trading. I was trying to do too much. I urge you not to do that. Keep a broad mind on the difference between swing trading and day trading, and then we'll kind of focus in on what works for you. Tradenet do cover some ETF sections and other sectors that we're going to talk about. So they cover very basic information on an ETF, which is good. It's important you understand what an ETF is if you're looking to trade. An ETF is an exchange traded fund, usually represents the movement of a overall company or commodity. For example, if you're to buy a share in every company that trades on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, it would be way too expensive. It's not realistic. But so what you can do to trade is you can buy a share of an ETF, which is more of a reasonable price, and that tracks either just the market itself or commodity behind it. Now bear in mind, when trading ETFs, they don't move quite as well like stocks. They are super liquid, so they're very easy to get in and get out. As I said, they don't trade quite like a stock. There is a commodity behind it pushing it. Sometimes they can follow obviously patterns and things like that as well. It's not more of a common trend as it is with stocks. But if you were seeing a pattern in, for example, gold or oil, you would then follow a trade in ETFs and kind of stick to the commodity driving the ETF and make your plan from there. As I said, they do cover a lot of sectors in Tradenet, which is great. They kind of break into sectors in terms of oil, bio, banks, energy, all this, and they also give you tickers that follow that to keep an eye out on certain stock movements. And if the market is going one way, they'll tell you to trade either oil or energy, for example, things like this, which is super important. And I really like the overview. They kind of educate you in that sector. And this was also one of my favorite sections in it. Surprisingly, I didn't think I would be a huge fan of the sectors and ETF section. I already know quite a lot about ETFs, and the sectors was new to me. So that's probably one of my reasons. It was, again, one of my favorite sections. If you did find the video helpful, hit that like button. If you do have any questions about the Tradenet before you do purchase it, let me know. I'm happy to help. My email is down below. So guys, if you are thinking of the Tradenet course, there is a link in the description below. So help me help you. Also, I'm proud to say I'm the only one that can offer a lifetime discount of $50 for the Tradenet course. It is in the link in the description below, so be sure to check it out. Thank you.